Sorry, what was the question again?
Vertical and horizontal
Right.
scaling.
So say, for example, your load increases, number of users increase. You have two options. Either you can scale horizontally or you can scale vertically. Now, what I mean by this is, say this is your application server and it has 16 GB of RAM, out of which, let's consider this much. So you have one application server which has 16 GB of RAM. Now, as the number of users increase, you can either, if you have capacity, you can increase the number of server processes like PSAP, PSRV. You can increase the number of processes depending on the load. If that is not the possibility, then you can go with vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. By vertical scaling, what I mean is you can increase this 16 GB to 32 GB. That is vertical scaling. Like you are increasing the capacity of the same server, right? That is vertical scaling. But instead of increasing the capacity of the same server, if you are going to create one more server with the same configuration, 16 GB, that is called horizontal scaling. So like you're scaling it, expanding horizontally. If you are increasing the capacity of the same server, like you're upgrading it from 16 GB to 32 GB, like you are increasing it, that is vertical scaling. Yeah.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And my screen is shared, right?
Yes, it is so.
Okay. So now we had completed application server installation, web server installation yesterday. We had seen how to load balance the requests, and today we will first go through process scheduler setup, like how to create a process scheduler. After that, we will set up open search, right, to enable global search in the application. So, sorry, I think you've opened Classic Home. Could you go back?
Home?
Yeah, you can click on Home. Now go to the navbar. Click on that. Go to menu. Go to People Tools. Process Scheduler. And Process Monitor. So in Process Monitor, there are two pages. One is Process List, where you can search for the processes that you've run. There are some filters that you can apply to narrow down your search. The second page, Server List, could you go to that? That will list all the schedulers that are there in the system. So right now, the scheduler which was created by default is this one, PRCS 8278, and it is created on this host name, like which is our VM. So now we need to, like, just consider that this becomes occupied, and you have like the number of processes that run are more in your application. So you need one more scheduler to distribute the load, like to take the additional load. So we will see how to create a process scheduler from PS admin menu. Let's go to the VM. Here, go back one step. Okay. Go to process scheduler. Create a domain. Yeah. So this setup is very similar to application server setup. So it is asking for the domain name. We'll keep, like, we will give the database name as the domain name here, CS92U032. Enter. Now, again, this menu might be familiar because it is similar to application servers menu. Here, if you see the first option, application engine server, which is your PSAE SRV process. So you need to run application engines on this scheduler. So we will keep it yes. Then second option is master scheduler. So in your PeopleSoft system, there can be only one master scheduler. So if the other one is already a master scheduler, we'll keep this as no. So let's press 2 and enter. Yeah, so it becomes no. Perf collator, we are not using performance monitor, so we can switch it off. So perf collator is related to something called performance monitor, which is a facility in PeopleSoft where you can see how much time the transactions are taking. So that is an additional setup, and we are not going to, capture the performance data. So we are going to keep it no. Then domains gateway, push notifications, real-time indexing. Now this is related to search, as in we talked about open search, right? So real-time indexing is related to open search. Like when you navigate through some navigations, real-time data should be sent to open search so that you get the suggestions, most accurate suggestions in your search box. So we will keep it yes. Then database name is correct. DB type is Oracle process scheduler, sorry, process server. Now you already have one scheduler whose name is PS Unix 83 something, right? Like we saw it in PIA, it has some name PRCS 82 something.
8278.
8278, right? So this name is that parameter process server. Now these names should be unique. So if you already have a process scheduler with PSUNX, like name PSUNX, you cannot create another one with the same name. Like you cannot bring up both the domains together. So we will, as it is not conflicting with the existing name, we will keep it as is. So PSUNX will be our process scheduler name. Then comes user ID. Press 13 and type the user ID which has access to boot process scheduler. In our case, it is PS. So we will enter PS. Enter. Give the user password in 14.
Small.
Small case, yeah. Connect ID, people. And connect password. Yeah. So we're all good. We can load the configuration as shown. So we can press 7. Right. Now you can boot this domain. So process scheduler also works on Oracle Tuxedo. So the process of starting the services is similar to application server. The server processes names are different. Say for example, in application server, you had PSAP, PSRV, PSSAM serve, all those processes, query serve, quick serve. Here, the process names are different. So the first one is PSRTI SRV, which stands for real-time indexing server process. So this process specifically takes care of real-time indexing. The second process is PSAE SRV, which is used for running application engine programs. So you would see multiple PSAE SRV processes started because one PSAE SRV process can run one process at a time. So say if you want a scheduler to handle three processes concurrently, you would
Mm-hmm.
configure the number of processes as three. So by default, it is three, I guess. So it has started three PSAE SRV services. Depending on your load and depending on how many concurrent processes you want to run on a scheduler, you can increase this number in the configuration file. So, like we can increase the number for PSAE SRV to say 5 or 7, and according to that number, it will start the number of processes. And the next process is PSDST SRV. So this stands for distribution server process. So distribution as in the posting of reports.
Posting
So
the
initially,
status.
if you
Mm.
remember, we had discussed that process scheduler is going to create the log files on itself first.
Yes.
Then it is going to transfer those files to the web server. That process is called posting. So that transfer is taken care by PSDST SRV. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is PSPRCS SRV. So PSPRCS RV takes care of uh, scheduling, like capturing, uh, like for example, you have scheduled a process, and that entry goes in the process scheduler tables like PRCS request and PRCS queue. Now someone has to check on the database if there are any new requests, right? So PS PRCS SRV is a process which does that. It polls the database every 15 seconds or 10 seconds, depending on the configuration, and it will check those tables and see if there are any new process requests. If there are any new process requests, it will start those programs, execution of those programs on the process scheduler. If something completes and needs to be updated in the database, this process is going to do that. So if you see, when a process starts, it is in queued status first.
Yes.
As soon as it gets picked up, it changes to initiated, then processing. So that update, who is doing that update in the database? This process, PS, PRCS, RV. So this process is uh, responsible for polling the database, getting the new process requests and processing them. Uh, like, and if there are any updates to be made to the database, like process completes, it has to update the status. Distribution completes, it has to update the status again. Those kind of things are taken care by PRCSS, PRCS RV. Then last one is monitor serve. So if any of these processes gets killed abruptly, or so monitor serve is going to bring back that process again. So say you've configured 7 PSAE processes, and something happens to one PSAE process, like for some reason it gets killed. So PS monitor SRV is going to start another PSAE in place of, like, because now the number has reduced from 7 to 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So monitor SRV will check the configuration and try to match that number. So it will bring up the seventh process. That's the purpose of PS monitor SRV. Right? Now it says that it has started all the processes, so which means our process scheduler is up. Let's go to the PIA, and you can refresh this page, or click on refresh. Now go to server list. As you can see, now there are two process schedulers. One is PSUNX, which we have created, right? And one was already there. Now, if you see the status, it says running with no report node. So what this means is, for posting the files, for transferring the files from process scheduler to web server, it refers to a configuration called report node. So in report node, you define which web server should be used for the transfer, which protocol should be used for the transfer. All those settings are defined in a report node configuration. And then that unique report node ID is used in your server configuration. Like the server should be using this particular report node. So we are going to see the definition of this server. Go to navbar. Go to navbar
Yeah.
and go to menu. Now here, if you scroll down, there is something called process scheduler servers. Click on process scheduler servers. नीचे वाला,
Oh, yeah.
just below report nodes. Yeah.
I clicked.
So here you will find the definitions for all the process schedulers that you have in the system. Directly click enter. You can type enter. Yeah, it uh, it will show you all the process definitions that already exist in the system. Now our scheduler is PSUNX. Let's click
Yeah.
on that, the last one. Now this configuration decides what all things can run on the scheduler, in what priority, and how many concurrent processes can run, when they can run. Like you can decide, on Saturday and Sunday, this should not pick up any process. So those kind of settings are done in server definition. So we've opened the server definition page. Here you can see sleep time and heartbeat. So
Yeah.
sleep time is 15 seconds, which means that it will poll database every 15 seconds. So it is going to check for new processes every 15 seconds, which would be done by which process? Like on process scheduler
Monitor.
VM, we saw one.
No, monitor is something is down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is PS PRCS RV.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
You can go back to the VM and see it would be last second process that was started.
Yes.
Yeah, PS PRCS RV. Yeah, let's go back to PIA. So now here, if you see the bottom grid, it says
Yeah.
process types that can run on the server. So this defines what all processes can run on the server. So say if you have run an application engine, this scheduler is capable of running application engine. That is what it means. Like it is ready to pick those process types. So if you set this to 0, for example, application engine and max concurrent, if you set it to 0,
Mhm.
no app engines will be transferred to this server. No application engines will run on this server. They will be transferred to some other schedulers which are running, like which have value more than 0. If
Mhm.
every scheduler you make app engine 0 in all the servers configuration, then your processes will always be in queued status. It will not be picked by any of the schedulers. So
Mhm.
sometimes what happens is when we are setting up a new system, we miss verifying these values, and if process is going to queued, for example SQR report or SQR process is going to queued, then you might have to check whether this value is more than 0 or not. And
Oh.
this is also helpful when you have to restrict some kind of processes. So say you
Mhm.
don't want SQR reports to run on PS Unix, but rather you want them to run on a Windows process scheduler. So same process schedulers can be created on Windows machines as well. So those are known as PSNT servers. So if you see in the list, there was PSNT as well, which is there in the system by default. So PSNT, like generally you name them PSNT, NT1, NT2, NT3, something like that. Anything starting with PSNT is a Windows process scheduler. Anything starting with PSUNX is a Linux or Unix flavored process scheduler. So if you want to run the SQR processes only on Windows, then you can make this value 0 on all the Unix servers and make this value more than 0 on all the Windows servers, Windows schedulers, right? So that is the purpose of these values, right? Then you can, there is one more thing, you can create process category. So by default, there are only two categories, default and load cache. So you can create your own categories, like say, mm, Windows category or Linux category or important category, and then you can tag or user reports category. Like users, they run a lot of PS queries, for example, and you want those processes to run only on one specific server or two specific servers. Then you can create a process category, say user reports, and then you can map that process category to PS query process. So you can map that category to PS query process. So whenever a user triggers a PS query process, because that has process category as a user report, it will go to the schedulers where max concurrent is more than 0 for that particular process category. Like, is it making sense or it's a bit
Yeah, yeah.
confusing?
No, no, no. It is making, but since it is new, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you create process category, you map it to a specific process, right? And then when running the process, it will check this configuration. The server is going to check this configuration, asking like, am I really allowed to run this process because it has process category X or Y. So like these values will decide whether the scheduler is allowed to run these processes or not. Say someone runs a process, it will check what is the category of that process. Server will check, am I allowed to run this? No, reject it. Like, don't take it up. Some other scheduler will take it up. If none of the schedulers are configured to run this particular process category, it will remain in queue. And this is a common issue when we set new process categories. We sometimes forget to review this configuration, increase the value from 0 to something else. So like uh, basically this decides whether the process will be processed by scheduler or not. Scroll up, go to distribution. Distribution is the process of transferring the files from scheduler to web server, which is the posting process. So here you don't have a node configured. It's blank right now. So there is no report node configured. That is why it was showing that message, like it is not configured with any report node. For now, just cancel. Okay, or select it. Anyway, we will review the report node configuration. Select it and save it. Maximum retries you can set to 3, maximum, and interval to 60 seconds or something.
Transfer
Save.
system support repository.
Yes.
Support repository.
Yeah, you can check that and save it. Now, what this means is, say for some reason your web server which transfer the files is down, so your process will remain in posting status, like it will be in
Correct.
posting, posting, posting.
Yes.
But then it is not going to give up in the first try itself. So the number of retries, this number will decide how many times the scheduler is going to try posting the files and at what interval, right? So
Oh.
these values are for that. Yep. Go
If at all
to
it is
notification.
not if at all it is not posted, that means posted to web server, but there should be some provision app server maybe can see or somewhere. No.
So user browser, if you remember the diagram, user browser is connected to,
App server.
it is connected
Browser is
to
connected to
only
web
web
server. Sir.
server,
Yes, correct.
web server. So any static files which are lying on your web server can be viewed by
Mm-hmm.
the browsers
Hmm.
directly. And as they are static files, you don't need any processing there, right? Once they are created, they are created. You are
Mm-hmm.
not going to change the process logs. Once the process completes, it is done
Mm-hmm.
writing the files, they become static,
Yeah.
like no change is required after that. Then why do you require application server to do that for you? Because application server is the brain of your whole architecture. It
Yes.
handles all the processing of data and anything dynamic. But the static files, they can just lie on your web server. Anybody can request and view that, like depending on his access. That's why those static files will reside on the web server, and that is known as report repository. So
Okay.
from your report repository, you can view the log files, and we will see where how it is defined. When we see the report node configuration, we will know. Okay, go to operation. Yeah. So I was saying that if you want to free that scheduler for Saturday and Sunday, you can do it from here. Like you can remove the row for Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
What this means is this scheduler is going to run the process only between these times. So on Sunday, starting from 12 a.m. to midnight.
Okay.
Monday, again, 12 a.m. to midnight to midnight, 24 hours. But if you want to restrict a certain scheduler, like restrict the processing on certain scheduler, you can remove the row here,
Okay.
or you can modify the time. And you might ask, like, what is the use case here? So say
Mm-hmm.
your month-end processing is going to commence, right? And or say you're running very, like data intensive jobs on weekend, and you don't want anything else to run. No, sorry, that's a wrong example. Um, or say during maintenance, say you want to recycle the schedulers one by one, and you don't want the scheduler to pick up anything during those 4 5 hours. So you can
Mm-hmm.
like if you have four schedulers, for example, you can keep it free, like one scheduler for first 2 hours, then the next scheduler, then the third one, and then the fourth one. So during those 2 hours, it will not pick up any process, so that your scheduler is free and you can do your maintenance task. So, and there could be other user use cases as well, but I can only think of this right now.
Okay. So,
But
is
basically,
there
whenever,
any?
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me.
So these are about days. Is there any like certain this date to this date every day at this time run the
Mm,
process?
no, dates are not there. Only weekdays. Like, I mean, only the days of the week you
Okay.
can restrict. Like every Sunday, this server should be free for
Okay.
some purpose. Yeah. Go to notification. So here, if you want, say there are some errors on the server and you want to get notified, you can give
Mm-hmm.
your email ID here, right? So that's what it is. If you want to get notified, you
Mm-hmm.
should get a notification. Go to
If
daemon.
some process fails, or
If some process fails, then there is a different page. Like, uh, yeah, so it can be done from the process level itself. It does not need to be on process scheduler level. This is for the whole scheduler, like the scheduler that you've created on the server. It is for that. If there are any errors on the scheduler, if
mm-hmm.
you want to get notified, you would configure your ID here.
Okay.
Go to daemon. Yeah. So this daemon is like if you want to run a specific process like multiple times in a day without like using recurrence. There is a concept of recurrence, right? Where you can decide it should run every 15 minutes or every 30 minutes or every 2 hours. If you want to set a daemon without a recurrence, like it should automatically start, say, like every hour it should run. that can be set up from here. And in process definition, you get to choose if it is a daemon process or not. So it is used for running daemon processes. So it's not very widely used. Like I've never seen it being used for any purpose. The most common ones are notification, your distribution, and server definition. Operation also you don't usually touch it, but server definition is the most important. Then distribution, then your notification.
Okay.
Yep. Now let's see the report node definition. So let's go to navbar, menu. Here, if you scroll down, there should be report nodes, process scheduler report nodes in the middle here. Press enter. Yeah, so there is only one report node. That's why it opened the page directly. Now this
Right.
report node decides how your files will be transferred, like using which protocol, which server, which port, all of that. So if you see, the protocol that is chosen here is HTTP, right? Click on that drop down to see what other options are there. So you can use FTP, you can use Xcopy, you can use SFTP, you can use HTTPS. So if your web server is HTTPS enabled, you can go with HTTPS as well. If you want to transfer the file using FTP and not the web server, then you can choose FTP. Then your web server will not be used in that case. Only in case of HTTP, your web server will be used. And Xcopy is a command only for Windows. So if your report repository say is on Windows, you can use Xcopy. Yeah. So let it be HTTP. Let's the next field is URL ID. So this is in a specific pattern, your protocol, your server name, the port, then PS reports slash your site name. So in our case, our site name is PS. So before that, whatever you see is in a like steady pattern. You will not, if you change anything there, it will not work. So it has to be your web server URL, like till the port number slash PS reports slash your site name. If you enter incorrect site name, it will give error, like it will not open your log files. Then operating system, it is Unix or Windows you can choose. So in our case it is Unix. Scroll down, then you set the URI host. Now this URI host is your web server. So the DNS or the IP address of your web server, right? And where your web server is listening,
Support.
just yeah. So on whichever web server, uh, like whichever port your web server is listening, you have to specify that port. And then URI resource. This is again a steady pattern, like it is a fixed pattern. It should be scheduler transfer slash your site name. So like you check any PeopleSoft application, say in development, you will see scheduler transfer slash say PS dev. In UAT, you will see scheduler transfer slash PS UAT or something, like whatever your site name is. But the scheduler transfer will remain constant. You cannot change that, right? And that's the servlet name, which is responsible for transferring the files. The URL ID, which is on top, that is also a fixed pattern. So you just have to change, not this one, the URL ID that we discussed at the top near protocol. So that pattern is also fixed. You just have to change the site name and your web server URL till the port number. The PS reports remain constant, right? So that's it here. Uh, like now what happens is when your scheduler wants to transfer the files, it is going to contact this web server, the which is mentioned in URI host. This web server on this particular port, and it is going to transfer using this servlet. Scheduler transfer is a servlet that it is going to use to transfer the files. Now, when you access those files from the browser, it is going to open it using this URL ID. This URL that you see, it will open with this link. Now, let's go to, like, some process might have run, right? Let's go to process monitor and try to see the logs. You will see this URL in the browser.
Shall I use new window?
Yeah, you can use new window. So if you see, if you notice, when you clicked new window, your site name has now changed to ps_15. You don't have to worry about that. It is going to assign new number as you open new windows. If you open one more new window, it will have some random number assigned to it.
16.
Yeah,
16.
ps16. Yeah. So go to navbar and go to process monitor. Try to open, click on details
First
of
one.
one of the processes. Yeah.
Mm.
Go to view log trace. Click on the log file. Yeah. So now if you see in the URL, what is mentioned? Localhost.local domain. Now this host name is of your VM,
Correct.
right? And like it is not able to recognize this particular domain outside of your VM. That's why you are seeing this. So now we have to change our report node configuration to reflect correct URL. Let's go to report nodes once again. Now copy the URL from your browser, like the not this one, the one which is in your report node. Go to report node page from the URL bar in the browser. From the URL
Copy.
bar in the browser, copy till port number till 8100. Copy it and replace it uh, like in the report node configuration.
Report node configuration.
Yeah, URL ID.
Huh?
Go to URL ID. Replace that till 8000. Remove till 8000 and paste whatever you have copied. Remove that extra slash. Yeah, that's it. Save it. Save.
But the
Now
port
go to
also.
process. Yeah. So this port now, this port is which web server are you going to use for posting? This can be different from your URL ID. Like you can have a separate web server domain which is dedicated only for posting, right? So you can change it to 8100, not a problem. But uh, in a production scenario, you might have a separate web server responsible only for posting. Because say if you are posting a very big file which is in GB, and if your web server crashes, you don't want to bring down your uh, web server which user is logged into. So say you're logged into this 8100, and if you
Mm-hmm.
give 8100 here in
Mm-hmm.
URI port,
Mm-hmm.
then that web server 8100 is going to be used for posting. Posting is basically transferring the files. And if you're transferring a very big file, your
Mm-hmm.
web server might crash. Like if you don't have, say, sufficient heap memory, your web server might crash, and this site that you are accessing will go down. You don't want that to happen.
Yes.
So generally what they would do is they will have a dedicated web server for posting reports, and even if it goes down, the only impact is your processes will be in posting status for some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, did you get that point?
Yeah, I got
Okay. So if that dedicated web server goes down, your processes will be in posting. That's the only
it.
impact. But if
The
you
file will
use,
be supposed.
uh,
Mm.
yeah, if you use this link 8100 port,
Mm.
then what will happen if a big file is getting transferred and if it crashes the web server, this web server will go down. You will not be able to access the application. So URL ID is totally different than URI host and URI port
Yes.
that you provide.
Oh.
URI host and port is the actual web server who is responsible for transferring the files, and this URL ID is the URL with which you are going to view the logs. So in a load balancer setup, for example, this
Mm.
URL will be the end user URL, the load balancer URL. It has
Yes.
nothing to do with your web server, right? Whatever URL end user uses, that URL will come here in URL ID.
Yeah.
Make sense?
The finally user has to see the file, whatever
Correct.
posting.
Now do one thing, go to process monitor once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to click on view that log file once again.
This
Click
yesterday,
on that
right?
log file. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Now close this. So you saw that you're not able to view the logs. Close it
Mm.
and close this window as well, like process monitor, this view log trace window. Close this one.
Did I save this? Have saved this? I don't know.
Yeah, you saved that. Now open details once again in process monitor.
Yeah.
Click on view log trace. Click on the file. Okay. What does it say? Web page was not found. This is 404. So this log file, it is
Mm-hmm.
saying was not found, right? So the report repository that we had created. Let's go to the VM. Control C. Uh, go to go to your configuration home.
Yes, admin.
Dollar CD no CD dollar PSCFG home.
Mm. Yeah.
PSCFG
Sorry.
PS underscore CFG underscore CFG and yeah, enter ls. Do you see any PS reports folder here?
No. Yes, it is there. Sorry, it's there.
Okay, CD PS reports, enter ls. Go to this folder,
Yeah.
ls. On which date did it run? Go to process monitor and check. Yeah, on
Um,
which date it was run? 10/1. That is
10 is
today, right? October 1st.
it's okay. It's MMDD. Okay.
Yeah. Go to the server. See if there is any folder for
2024. Yes, it is there. This one, last one
yeah.
looks
Go
like
to that yeah. Go to that folder.
24 100.
ls. Now go to PIA once again.
Yeah.
There is something called report ID.
Here it
What is
is
that?
like
One. Yeah. With
one
that,
one
there should
762.
be one folder. See if you have
62. Yeah.
ls.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is
Fine.
this file, right? With the same process instance, 86344. Can you check the process instance?
Process. Okay. Fine. Yes, 86344 process instances.
Right. So file is present, but we are not able to see the file. Let's go back to PIA.
Okay.
Right. Now do one thing. Bounce your web server and bounce your scheduler.
Okay. So from here only, no, you have to do.
Yes. Go to
So
PS
control
admin.
C. Control C.
No, you are already on the prompt, so no need to control C. When you are inside PS admin, then you have to control C basically means you're terminating the current command, right? So yeah, PS admin, go to third option. First, first, set it down.
So bounce means shut it down, or again
Bounce, yeah,
means
bounce means shut down and then bring it up.
and bring it up. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. What is that?
Stopping the domain, there is an domain status. Syntax error, unexpected end of
Okay.
file.
Press Control C once. Once again, Control C. Type WHICH space SQL plus SQL+. Enter. Okay, it's working. Okay, no problem. You type PS hyphen EF, PS space hyphen EF, grep, pipe symbol and grep, Java, and then again pipe symbol and grep your database name, CS, like your web server domain name, 032. Enter. Yeah. Can you kill this PID? Kill hyphen 9 space PID 291209.
Okay, okay. PS admin 29. Okay. 29.
1209. Enter.
Why are we killing it? Like, I don't get this.
Because using PS admin, we could not bring down the domain. There is some error. We'll check it maybe tomorrow what that error is. If for some reason your web server does not come down, you can kill that PID so that it's killed forcefully.
Okay.
PS admin, go to your process scheduler, administrator domain, bounce both of them. Select first, bring it down. Normal shutdown you can do. So tomorrow is a holiday for you.
Yes, it is.
Okay. You can boot it. No, no, it's already shut down. No? You have to boot it now.
Oh, okay, domain name is same. I was thinking about the other domain to bring it down.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So, boot this domain. Sorry.
Go back. Yeah. So we will connect tomorrow, right? Or you want to take leave?
No, we can connect. We can connect.
Okay.
If you have some other plans, then let me know. That's all.
No, day after tomorrow, I have some plans. That is not fixed. I'll inform you tomorrow.
Sure. So now, 9 processes started this day. So that means this is
Go
up.
back.
Now domain is PRCS DOM. So I have to go back and go back.
First option. No. You could
No,
have
okay.
gone to administrator domain. Anyway, go to process scheduler,
Hmm.
administrator domain.
Now this
Bounce the
second
second one as well. Boot it.
the Microsoft start.
Shall we start a little early tomorrow?
Yeah, we can.
At what time? Like 6? Is it fine?
Okay, fine.
Or maybe in the day because I'm not working tomorrow. So we can finish it off in the morning itself so that you'll have evening for yourself.
Sure.
Yeah. So let me know what time is suitable for you. We can connect at that time.
Sure. I was checking data migration activities are happening. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So 7%
Okay. So
started. So now go to
yeah,
domain.
let's bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, you've booted it. So let's start the web server now, which we had brought down. Go back to the web server menu.
Okay. 3.
Yeah. Administer. First one. Boot. So do you have any feedback on the pace or like the way of explanation? Uh, like, do I need to improve anywhere?
No, it's very good actually. Mm, you explain it very well with examples and all, which is, yeah, really I can understand very
Mm-hmm.
well.
Thanks.
And you are really being patient with me. I know that.
No, that's fine. That's my job. So okay. So the web server has started. Let's go to PIA. Yeah, you can refresh this page. You'll be most probably logged out. But let's refresh this. Yeah. And why did that happen? Because we've restarted the web server. So your session is gone. When you
Mm-hmm.
restart, everything is gone, lost. We'll have to log in again. Click on details, view log, click there. Why does it say this was not found? Okay, do one
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Uh-huh.
Server one thing. Go to the VM,
Mm-hmm.
Control C, Control C. Yeah. Go back 2 steps. Like no.
Mm-hmm.
CD, type CD dot dot CD
Absolutely.
dot dot slash no, CD space dot dot. So CD is the command. Then
Mm-hmm.
first parameter is dot dot slash dot dot. Enter. So it will take you 2 steps back.
Okay.
Yeah. So dot means current directory. Dot dot means previous directory.
Mm-hmm. Now
Yeah. Sorry. Now go back one more step.
that's all.
No, CD dot dot.
Yeah.
Dot dot is previous directory. Enter.
Yeah.
Go back one more step. CD space dot dot. Yeah. So this is your PSCFG home, right? Can you type PWD? Yeah. And ls. Go to web serve. Ls. So there are two domains, right? One is PeopleSoft and other one is
Yes. Mm.
CS92. Go to PeopleSoft. Now here, find that configuration.properties file. So
Yeah.
type find space
That's fine.
dot space hyphen name space config star dot prop star.
Star.
Spelling is incorrect. Config
Cotton.
spelling
Yeah.
is
Conflict star.
star dot prop star. Enter. Yeah, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
CD applications PeopleSoft portal.war, like whatever is there on the screen, go to that folder.
Yeah.
No, capital.
Docs. Yes.
PS. That's it. Enter.
Sorry. Huh.
LS. Now type cat space configuration tab. You can press tab dot properties. Yeah. Then pipe symbol grep web W capital W capital EB. No. Grep web W capital EB. That's it. Enter. Okay. Web profile equal to prod. So if you see, in what it does is cat is to view the contents of the file. Like cat configuration dot properties means you want to view all the contents of the file, but then you want to search for specific pattern in that file. So you have passed that to grep command. So grep command is going to filter only the lines which have web word in it, right? So web profile equal to prod, we can see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now PWD once. Okay, it's a long path. So let's do one thing. CD space dollar $PSCFG home. PS. Enter. Web serve. No, CD web serve. Like go to web serve and then our new domain CS.
CD. Yeah. Then.
Yeah. Yeah. Tab you can press. Now press upper arrow key. Press upper arrow key till you get that long path. Enter. Because your web server, the new web server will also have the same folder structure. So we reuse that command. Reuse the cat command as well. Press upper arrow key. That one, right? Enter.
It is.
This is
File
also
prod. Prod.
prod. Okay, now if this is prod, okay, go to type cd space hyphen hyphen. Enter.
Hyphen. CD space hyphen.
Yeah, yeah. Enter. Okay. So you're back to the previous directory. So we did not have to type dot 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 the long, like we directly came to our previous directory. Now go back one more step, two more steps actually. Okay, but anyway you cannot copy, right? No, not like that. Sorry. CD
Yeah.
dot dot. But that's okay. We don't need that. Go to PIA. I just needed the path. Go to PIA
Yeah.
and go to web profile configuration. Go to your nav bar Go to menu,
It will menu.
click on people tools. Oop, at the top, you have
Hmm.
people tools, right? Click on that link. Go to the bottom, go to web profile.
Yeah.
Go to web profile configuration. Open prod, like press enter. Now there should be one web profile called prod. Click on that.
Yeah.
Come down.
Hmm.
Yeah, enable report repository is there,
Path is not there.
and path is not there. Uh, let's specify the path. Like we had given it when we set up the um, web server. But anyway, let's give the path here. Just refer your VM and give the full path of this till 8.61. So home PSADM2 PSFT PT. Yeah, go back to PIA.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
Type slash home slash PSADM2.
Small letter is fine, huh?
Yeah, small letter
Hmm.
only, because our folders are in small letters. If you give capital, it will not work. Slash PSFT slash PT slash 8.61. Yeah, save it. Yeah. Can you verify the path if that is correct against your VM? You can check.
Home there. Yeah.
Is it correct?
Don't you have to give web server and all those things? No?
No. Only till 8.61.
8.6 is correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
into, yeah. Yes, into, yeah.
Now, can you
Okay.
bounce the web server? Uh,
So,
better to kill it.
okay.
Press, sorry, type ps-ef grep java grep
So,
your web server name.
yes, I can do it. Great. Java. Right. Whatever means.
CS. Yeah.
Shall I enter?
Yes. Enter. Kill that PID. Kill -9.
ID is 296 Yes. Yeah. Now, do I need to go to PS admin again?
Yeah. PS admin and start the domain. Okay, I guess we've made one small mistake. We have to specify the part till PS reports in the web profile. Okay, anyway, or, and that value is optional. I don't know. While configuring, uh, maybe while configuring the web server, we had given wrong path. It was not till PS reports. That's what I'm thinking. But let's verify. Okay, Control C. Control C.
Yes. It's not happening.
Control C. Yeah. This is your web server, right? Can you PWD? We need to go to configuration.properties. Can you press your upper key and that long string was there, right? Yeah, that one. CD.
This one?
No, no. The other one. CD application something something.
This one.
Yeah, this one. Enter. Uh, Again, cat configuration.properties. But we have to grab something else.
Okay.
So remove web and type um, PSADM2. Enter. Yeah, report repository path we've given only till 8.61. We have to give till PS reports. I guess so. It has to be till PS reports. 1 second. Okay, let's try changing this to PS reports. Do vi configuration dot properties.
Yeah.
Enter. Type slash
Hmm.
PSADM2 because we want to search PSADM2. Yeah, here, take your mouse there, like not the mouse, sorry, your cursor. Like use your upper keys. Okay, press enter first. Press enter first. Yeah. Now your cursor is there, right?
Yes, yes.
Take it to the end. So Shift A. Type Shift A.
Hmm.
Type slash PS reports in small letters. Yeah. Escape. Type escape. Now save this file. Colon WQ.
Small w, small q. Elimination.
Yep. Enter. Now go to web profile once again. Go to front end and remove that value from that field.
It's okay. I'm not able to comment. Not else. I'm not able to. Yesterday I have done something. Not report.
Control, right control.
Right control.
Yeah. Now move your cursor. No, don't capture.
Right control.
Now move your mouse. You should be able
Yeah.
to move your mouse. Okay? Hmm. Yeah. Refresh this page. We don't need this value. Refresh this page. Yeah. Log in again. And go to prod web profile. Search and go to prod. Remove that value. Go to the bottom and remove that value.
This one.
Save it. Bounce the web server. First kill that PID and then boot it up. You'll have to find the PID first. So ps-ef.
Sorry. Yes. Yes.
Grep Java, grep web server name, pipe symbol.
Yeah. Okay. Shall I enter?
Yeah. And then
Yes, admin.
ps admin. Yeah. Start the web server. So maybe we will end after this issue is resolved. We'll connect tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
a bit late now. So tomorrow we will do the open search installation. We'll configure global search that we will target for tomorrow. And if possible, I'll show you the SSL configuration as well.
Okay.
SSL is in, we will convert the URLs from HTTP to HTTPS.
Okay.
Like we will install SSL certificates so that our site is secure.
Second. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to the screen, PIA. Refresh this page. Give PS password. Go to process monitor and verify if you're able to see. Yeah,
This also
you're
would have
already
gone.
there.
Na?
Yes. No. You can refresh it. No problem.
Oh,
Refresh it.
it's
It will
gone.
work. Oh, it's gone. Then
Yeah.
close the window. Maybe it will impact your. Close the window. You can go from web profile
Yeah.
window. No, you'll have to log in. That session is also gone. Just refresh this page once.
Ah, it's gone.
Yeah. Log in again. Now, better to go from recently visited. We don't need web profile anymore. So we can
Okay.
go to recently visited, process monitor. Now try opening the log file.
Yeah. Open up.
Yeah. So the problem was that the repository path in our web profile, sorry, web server configuration was incorrect. right? So once we gave the correct path till PS reports, this started to work. And again, in the URL, if you see, now our IP address is coming instead of local host, local domain. And why is that? It is because we've changed the report node as well, right? Now go to process monitor and close this dialog box. Click on server list. Now you don't see that message that it is running with no report node. Like, so what we have done today is we have seen the report node configuration. We have corrected the report node configuration. We have corrected the repository path which was there in web server configuration that should be pointing to the PS reports folder. Then we we created a new scheduler. We saw the server definition page. We gave the report node value there, and like we bounced all the servers. Like that's how now this is fully set up. Like you can view the logs. Your scheduler is up with the report node. You like it is ready to run the processes as well, show you the logs, right?
Yes.
So let's connect tomorrow.
Yeah.